Hey guys, the Fire Brothers here. My brother couldn't be here today because, well, is anyone really surprised at this point? Anyways, today's excuse is he was eaten by Grimlock. So while they're trying to pull out my brother from Grimlock, so while they're trying to get my brother out of Grimlock, so while they're trying to get Grimlock to spit out my brother, you know what, this sounds extremely dairy. Let's just skip this part. Okay, so in this video I'm gonna be talking about the Autobots and Decepticons that were killed by both Cemetery Wind and KSI. Basically, while Autobots were killed and turned into KSI drones, I'm gonna mention a few ones that a lot of people don't know about, but I'm also gonna mention some other ones that are just guesses. We're just guessing based on some things that people said or some design details. I'm gonna start with the ones that we all know about, Leftfoot and Ratchet. These two were killed and their deaths were seen on screen in Age of Extinction. But other ones that people don't know about that were revealed thanks to Aspector Prime, it appears that Bluestreak and Highwire were Autobots that were hunted down and killed by Cemetery Wind, and supposedly their parts were later used to be turned into KSI drones. Just to give you a quick refresher, Highwire is that weird red motorcycle from the Stealth Force video. And Bluestreak is a Sideswipe fanboy. Yes, I mean, just look at him. Look at him. That's totally a Sideswipe fanboy. Now, the next one is an Autobot that has been the source of debate, and that's Sideswipe. Now, in one of the Age of Extinction promotional cards, it was mentioned that Sideswipe was killed by Cemetery Wind, and his death was witnessed by the Autobots when they were watching the footage of Leftfoot and Ratchet dying. Now, whether you take this as canon or not, it's really difficult to tell. But considering that we saw Wheelie, Topspin, and possibly Roadbust during the last night, and we did not see Sideswipe, we can make some assumptions here. I definitely believe that he's kinda dead at this point. I mean, Hasbro could always pull a barricade and bring him back to life out of nowhere. But as of this point, Sideswipe is officially dead. Now, this Autobot hasn't really been stated to have been killed by Cemetery Wind, but there are some clues that hint to his death, and that is Mirage. Now, I know a lot of people like Mirage, but I believe that Mirage is in fact dead, not just because his voice actor died a while ago, but also because the KSI Sentries, or the Traxxas, they share a striking resemblance to Mirage. Not just the color of the vehicle, but also the most striking resemblance is their blades. Some of the KSI robots have blades, not all of them. But the Trax has such, and I mean such a striking resemblance to Mirage, that it honestly wouldn't surprise me that the Trax was inspired by Mirage. And before you say, oh fire, they just have the same color, well, guess what? The two heads are based on Shockwave, and a lot of the early models from KSI have really close resemblances to their Transformers counterparts. For example, the two heads has a large resemblance to Shockwave. So early models of the KSI drones have resemblances to their Transformers counterparts, or the Transformers they were based on. So the tracks here being slightly based off Mirage, honestly, it wouldn't surprise me. The resemblance, it is there. The only differences will be the card parts, of course. It's like Age of Extinction Stinger looking like Dark of the Moon Bumblebee. The resemblance, it is there, but the card parts, everything else is different. But when it comes to Sideswipe and Mirage, I will say that Mirage has the most likely chance to have been killed by KSI. So a Decepticon that we know was probably killed by Cemetery Wind is Loader. And if you forgot about him, don't worry, so did I. He's the Decepticon who transformed into that weird truck and was carrying the Space Bridge pillars to Chicago. When Harold Attinger revealed his deck of dead Transformer cards, one of those images is Loader. Now, in the card it says that Loader was last seen in Chicago. However, you might also take note that in the Ironhide Deceased card, it says that Ironhide was killed in Chicago, even though he was killed in Washington, D.C. So the cards are not really accurate when it comes to pinpointing an exact Transformer's place of death, which means some of the other cards might be wrong. But then again, we do know Loader for a fact is dead. Whether he was killed in the Battle of Chicago or after the Battle of Chicago, that's still kinda debatable. Hell, for all we know, maybe Cemetery Wind went to Chicago after the battle and started hunting down the Decepticons that were hiding amidst the rubble. That's honestly not too far off, because in the last night we see Autobots hiding amidst the rubbles of areas that used to be battlefields for the Decepticons. So Loader and other Decepticons hiding in areas such as this, where there's plenty of rubble and cover to hide, doesn't seem too far off. The TRF was doing the same thing, and that's how they managed to find Canopy and Steelbane. Another character that I know for sure was killed was RC. Now you might say, but RC died in Revenge of the Fallen. Well, we do know Chromia survived that movie, and maybe you could say that RC and Elite One survived the blast, but in the scene with the deck of cards, it gets revealed that RC was actually killed. And supposedly not that long ago, because all of the Decepticons and Autobots that appear in the cards are recent kills, well, relatively recent kills, such as Ironhide, Starscream, Shockwave, Q. All of these characters were killed in Dark of the Moon, so it's kind of out of place to have RC be there, unless she survived Revenge of the Fallen and was killed later on. Which honestly, that seems to be the likely scenario here. So she was most likely killed by Cemetery Wind pretty early on in their operations. Okay, so for now on, the ones I will mention are purely based on guesswork. Meaning that based on the KSI robots appearances, I will determine what surviving Transformers were they based on. And that will tell us which ones were killed by supposedly Cemetery Wind. So the ones here, take it with a pinch of salt, but I still think there's a high possibility that this one's became true. So first one's Junkie, and I believe that Junkie was based on the Long Haul clone that we see in Washington DC. Now hear me out, not only do they have the same vehicle mode, I guess it's a bit of a stretch, but then again, two heads, it's basically Shockwave. The KSI Sentry, it's basically Dino, so you can say that this is one of the early models of KSI, and that's why it retains the vehicle models the Transformers it's based on. I think there's a high possibility the Long Haul clones were at some point hunted down by Cemetery Wind. I think that one's actually pretty believable. Next up is the Decepticon Protoforms. This is a no-brainer. There were plenty, and I mean plenty, of Decepticon Protoforms all around the world when the Decepticons first activated the Space Bridge pillar. It would be foolish to assume that Cemetery Wind did not at least kill one of them at some point. A character that didn't really get killed by Cemetery Wind, but more so Lockdown, was Axor. Now technically Lockdown was working for Cemetery Wind during this time, so I'm guessing I'm gonna count this one. Hey, you're free to get mad at me in the comments down below. So Axor, I guess you could say, was one of the mercenaries that accompanied Lockdown in his night ship, and he's also one of Lockdown's proteges. Now we know that he got killed by Cemetery Wind thanks to the aspect of Prime questions, which tells us that at some point when Optimus Prime called the remaining Autobots to gather, he and War Rider answered out of desperation. So they united with the other Autobots, but what they didn't know, Axor has sold them out, and he informed Lockdown along with Cemetery Wind about the Autobots' current location. However, shortly after doing this, he was shot in the back and killed. It's not really stated clear he was killed by the Autobots or killed by Cemetery Wind, but he was being haunted by them, so meh, whatever, I'll just count this one, just to fill out some more space. Also, I found the scenario to be kinda interesting, so why not? Okay, so going back to assuming which Autobots and Decepticons got turned into KSI drones, I would have to say probably Roadbuster. And this is just if you subscribe to the idea that Roadbuster was not present in the last night. The fan debate whether Roadbuster was in the last night or not, it's still kind of debatable because we never really got to see a clear, full body picture of him. So, how can Roadbuster be a KSI drone? Well, the colors match Junkheap's colors, and the Traxxas KSI drone has a very similar head sculpt, at least when it comes to the eye section. Maybe Roadbuster was killed and his glasses were used for the Traxxas to give them better vision in battle or something. It's always a possibility, but Roadbuster is a maybe. So yeah guys, those are all the ones I could come up with. I tried to guess which Autobots and Decepticons were killed by Cemetery Wind by analyzing some of the KSI drones, but I believe that most of the drones are actually made from dead Decepticons from the Battle of Chicago, such as Shockwave, Soundwave, Starscream. But I definitely do believe that a lot of these KSI drones are just dead Decepticons, or they could even be made of some of the parts of the ships that we see at the beginning of Age of Extinction. That's always a possibility. But yeah guys, I want you guys to tell me down below what do you guys think. Do you guys agree with some of my guesses? Do you guys disagree? What are your thoughts on the Autobots and Decepticons such as Sideswipe, possibly Mirage, Highwire, Bluestreak getting killed by Cemetery Wind? Do you guys believe that Cemetery Wind were good antagonists, that were bad antagonists? I would really like to hear your opinions down below, so feel free to comment. Anyways, that's it for this video guys. Like, comment and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye guys. Alright guys, time for some Patreon shoutouts. So Patreon shoutouts goes to our usual three: Librado Marufo aka L, Sachil Morbach aka Mirage, and Trans Theories aka Naka. Make sure to go check out Naka's channel. He recently as in the time I'm recording this, uploaded a video about how did Sideswipe survive Sentinel Prime's Cosmic Rust, which he previously killed Ironhide. I thought that was an amazing video and I really recommend it, so if you're interested on that, go check out his channel. If you wanna donate to my Patreon, link's gonna be in the description down below and in the comments down below. $1 will get you a shout out in all of my videos, and a shout out to your YouTube channel if you have one, of course. Anyways, that's it for now. Take care. Bye guys.